Hi, this is Frankie Knuckles, and it's XTime for DJs. It wasn't something that was planned. I was in high school at the time. I had a part-time job working on the weekend with Nicky Ciano at the gallery and hanging out at the loft as well. And a very close friend of mine, T. Scott, who was a DJ at a club called Better Days, he offered me a gig to play on Mondays and Tuesdays because the club was doing so well that they needed a DJ on Monday and Tuesday, and he thought that I would be perfect for it. I had never played a record before, not really played professionally, anything like that, before he asked me, but he seemed to think that I could do it. So I went and took the job and worked there at Better Days for about 6 months, and then got fired because they said that it just wasn't there, it wasn't happening, that the night wasn't taking off, even though there were plenty of people coming, but they just thought that it was, management I guess thought it was a waste of money. So I left there. Larry Levan brought me to Continental Bass to work with him. Actually, I went up there to hang out with him because now I had the time I could hang out with him. And I went up there for the first time to visit with him, and I was scared to death. But he asked me if I would hang out with him while he was playing, because he was the light man to the DJ that was already playing there, and then he went from being the light man to being the second resident DJ there on like Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And in doing that, he asked me to do lights for him. So I started out as a light man for Larry. And it's like the chain of command. And then when the resident DJ at Continental had quit, Larry became the head resident. I became the second in command. So I was no longer doing lights. I was not only doing lights, but I was doing lights and playing 3-4 days out of the week. And then eventually when Larry left Continental, I became the head resident. And it was like the chain of command. It just kept switching like that. And I played the last 6 years that the club was open, and then the club closed. From there, I went on to Continental, from Continental, I went on to the Warehouse in Chicago. Now, what was the first record I ever bought? I can't tell you what the first record was. It was so long ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. I can't begin to tell you what it was. But I listened to so much different kinds of music as a kid growing up. So I couldn't tell you what song that was. I'm sorry.
Baby.
I like lots of different kinds of music. Believe me, if you lived inside of my head, or you lived in my house and spent the day in my house, from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to bed at night, you will hear so many different kinds of music. The day usually starts off pretty somber and sweet and very classical, neoclassical, lots of soundtracks and musical scores and things like that. That's usually how my morning starts off, and then it segues into something that's a little more soulful, gut-wrenching, heart-pulling, very deep lyrical content, brilliant voices, anything from Aretha Franklin to Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, or some of the old Philadelphia stuff. The stylistics, and I used to listen to so many different songwriters and producers, and I think probably the biggest influences on me was Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, as well as Tom Bell and Linda Creed, who were the head writers for Philadelphia in the early days. And plus with a lot of different Latin influences here and there, Tito Puente, growing up in the Bronx and having, people like that, and hearing that music all the time, just constantly in and out of my ears. So if you actually spent the day in my house, you would hear all this different stuff throughout the course of the day, and then you really, by the end of the day, you would see where the biggest influences come from. They come from everywhere. I can't remember exactly when the first time someone called me the Godfather of House, but I remember the first time I heard of the music being called house music. But the exact event or the exact time when it happened, I don't remember. But it was a term of endearment that was given to me by the people of Chicago, and I think because I've always been the kind of DJ that's never placed himself above or away from the crowd. I believe in being very much a part of what's going on. You have to be. People have a much better time when they know that the person that's controlling the event or the party is right there in the middle of it with them. Because then they don't feel like there's a hierarchy that's going on. They just all feel like everybody's on the same page and everybody's on the same level, and it just works out perfectly that way. And for me, it's always worked out that way, because the greatest house party, anytime you go to a house party, a party at someone's house, there's going to be small accidents that's going to happen here and there. Somebody's going to bump into the turntable, and the needle is going to jump on the record, or you might pick the wrong needle up off the wrong record at the wrong time. Anything. That's natural. That's human. It's what happens. And I think usually when you're at a house party, you can accept it because hey, everybody knows everybody and it's friendly and it works, so it doesn't matter so much. I try to keep that element of realness about myself when I'm working. I don't pick up the wrong needle when I'm playing. I'm a lot more conscious of what's going on and what I'm doing, but I try to make sure that I'm always very close to the audience when I'm playing, so that they don't feel like I'm a superstar, if you will, or I'm unapproachable, and they can't get to me. People can get very close to me here. Before these last 3 months, I didn't spend very much time in the studio at all. I spent more time on the road, traveling, playing everywhere. But over the past 3 months, I've been spending a lot of time in the studio, with working on new material for myself, as well as remixing the new Depeche Mode single, and in production with the Shapeshifters. I've been spending a lot of time in the studio. Every waking moment of every day, I spend looking for new music, consciously and unconsciously. If I happen to hear something that catches my ear and it sparks my interest, it makes me sit up, I have to find out what it is. I go and look for it, and then that particular sound or that particular song might lead me to something else. I'm constantly looking and constantly trying to find something different, something new, or get the information on it anyway, which will sometimes lead me back to something old and something I've forgotten about, but I'm always looking. I'm all over the globe, but I can't say that I've really discovered a lot of new music. I hear a lot of the same. I watch the trends come and go. I watch trance come and go. I watch techno come and go. Now we're in the throes of the whole electro, whatever you want to call it. I watched it come in, and I guess it'll be on its way out in a minute. But, the style of music that I play is, I think, is kind of a benchmark for what this business is. Whenever, there's always going to be different trends that's going to come and go. But what's real about the music that I play is whether you understand the language or not, you understand the sound, and that's what appeals to everyone. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. what prompted me to start Noise Music was the fact that I still wanted to write and produce music and make music, but I wanted to do it on my own terms. And I knew that there were no record labels coming after me asking me to do it. So the only thing that was left for me to do was to develop my own label and put it out there. And it's great to be able to have my own label and do it, because at least I don't have to crunch numbers and I don't have to worry about deadlines or anything like that. I can do the music in my own time, my own way, and I can put it out there if I want to. And if I don't want to, I don't have to. Which is fast. My favorite production so far is this project I'm working on now with the Shapeshifters. It's kind of like a cross collaboration, exchange student kind of program. They came up with a song that that I inspired, and so they gave it to me to produce the remix song. Which came out really, really lovely. And so now I've got a song that I'm going to hand to them, and they're going to do the same thing. So it's kind of like an exchange program, so it's going to be really nice. But that's the thing that's probably my most favorite right now. I think probably the most memorable shows that I have are always in this country. Home is home. Playing in Chicago is brilliant, it's great, it's a lot of fun, but it's home. It's everything that's familiar to me. Playing in New York is a little bit different, because playing in New York is like the equivalent of opening on Broadway. It's like the pinnacle of your success, and it's like everyone in the world, that's anybody, is going to be there, you know, or it's going to be covered and it's going to be written about, you know, so I have to really work hard at the job that I have to do there. But coming here and playing here in Italy, the shows are always so magnificent because the people make that happen. You know, I'm just the go-between pretty much, a conduit, if you will. But the people here is what make those events so fantastic. And these are the greatest shows, I think, here in Italy. My favorite club? I don't have one. I don't have one.